My name is Daniel Aeschliman, and I'm a physical therapist and certified strength and conditioning specialist. I'm traveling through Scandinavia, experiencing the wonderful outdoors, and I'm here to give you some movement and mobility tips to prepare for any kind of hike. Let's get moving.
Hiking is a fantastic activity that not only gets you outdoors, but also fires up your lower body. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit a series of dynamic movements to help warm up our joints and our muscles in preparation for that hike. Let's begin with some hip openers. That's gonna look like this. You're gonna lift the knee, bring it out, tap the toe, and bring it back up and across. Let's go ahead and hit 5. Now, the great thing about this is that moving the joint helps warm up all of that synovial fluid because those hips are going to be working hard and taking a lot of impact as we perform this hike. Let's go ahead and hit one more here before we switch sides. All right, let's go ahead and bring it up, bracing the core along the way. As we do, bring that leg out, up, and across. Good, 2 more. And last one. Now we're gonna hit some lunge backs. We're gonna step our foot back, drop the knee to 90 degrees as we raise the arms, and we'll go ahead and do 5 on each side. Down and up. Now this one here, great for warming up the glutes and the quads, sending some blood to those areas, firing up those muscles. All right, let's go ahead and switch. Three, 2, and 1. Now we're going to perform a hip hinge. We're going to send that heel out, flex the foot, send the hips behind you as you hinge at the hips, and then we'll swing the arms up before stepping back. Let's go ahead and hit 5. Now this exercise here, again, you'll feel that gentle tug through the back of the hamstring as well as the calf. And one more. Let's go ahead, switch. Of course, hiking, lots of work through those calves, especially as you work uphill in that hike. Okay, now we'll go ahead and stretch the quads. We're gonna go ahead and grab that foot, set it back down, grab that foot, and set it back down. Let's go ahead and hit 5. 3, 2, and 1. Other side. Good, 2 more. All right, next up, we're gonna hit a lateral lunge. So it's gonna look like this. Step it to the side, sink that hip back while keeping the chest fairly upright. You're gonna feel that stretch through the inner thigh here. When we come back to stand, we're gonna drive our knee and press up on our toe. What that's gonna do is help warm up our calf muscle. So let's go ahead and take it to the side. Nice deep position, back up, and then drive the knee, press up on the toe. Three more. 2, and 1. Good, now we'll go ahead and switch sides, send it out the other direction, and then up onto toe. So not only are we stretching out some of these muscles in our lower body dynamically, but also engaging them, sending the blood to them to help warm them up as well. Now what we're gonna do is just a little bit of agility to help increase our heart rate a bit and also get our ankles warmed up. So we'll go out, out, and in for 10 total movements. Let's go ahead and hit it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to do the same thing, but forward and backward, stepping it forward and backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and repeat that sequence. We'll begin again with those 5 hip openers, lifting and bringing across before coming back up and over. So part of the reason we do this dynamic mobility is because our hike is going to be dynamic in and of itself. So the way we want to prepare our bodies, our muscles, and our joints is to work through dynamic mobility and stretching versus static. You'd want to do longer holds and more static stretching, say at the end of the hike, after you've performed all of the hard work. Let's go ahead, take it back to that lunge back. 5 on each side. One more, and switch. 3, 2, and 1. We'll send it out with that hinge and sweep. Hinge and sweep. So as we go through this second round, you might begin to feel like you can sink a little bit lower, go a little bit deeper as your body becomes more warm and your joints and muscles become more limber. Three, 2, and 1. All right, let's take it back for the quad stretch, bringing it up and down, up and down. Now, of course, this does require a little bit of balance, but root that plant foot into the floor, grab it with your big toe, your pinky toe, and focus on a point out in front of you if that's helpful, and that's going to help you maintain your balance. All right, next up, we're hitting that lateral lunge, taking it to the side, stepping it up, and then driving the knee and pressing up onto that toe. That's 3, 2, one more, and 1. And now, other direction. Final 2. And now a little bit of that agility, stepping it in, and out, out. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And forward and backward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So team, that is going to be our first 2 rounds of some dynamic mobility. Now, coming up, we're going to go ahead and switch up our exercises just a bit to bring a little bit more to our movement, as well as fire up our core. So what we're going to begin with is a lunge hold. And what we're going to target is our hip flexor. So what we're going to do, we're going to step back bend that knee down, and I want you to think about pulling your belly button in and tucking your tailbone under. What you should feel is the front of the hip light up. You'll also feel that through the quad, but what we're targeting here is that hip flexor. Oftentimes, when we step back into a lunge, we may press our hips forward like this, feeling like we're getting a great stretch. And you are stretching the front of the hip capsule, but you're not necessarily targeting that hip flexor as well as you could. So that's why we're going to drop that knee, pull that belly in, tuck that tail under, and that's going to light up that hip flexor and give it a great stretch. Because while we're hiking, what are we primarily doing? We're moving through a lunge pattern, lifting our leg and stepping forward and upward in that lunge movement. So we definitely want to target that hip flexor to warm it up. Let's go ahead and take it back. Drop the knee, belly in, tail under, hold here, 3, 2, 1, and back up. We'll go ahead and do that on each side for 5 reps. Two more. And there you go. That was the final one. Let's go ahead now and take it to the other side, stepping it back, dropping the knee, belly in, tail under, and back up. There's 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to go ahead and hit that hip hinge again, but this time we're going to go ahead and externally rotate our leg. That's going to give a little different stretch on the outer side of our hamstring as we hinge forward and come back up. You can leave your foot rooted where it is with that foot slightly turned open, toe about 45 degrees out instead of vertical. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Send that foot 45 degrees out and hinge for 1, 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. All right, this time we're gonna fire up our core because while we're hiking, we are also having to engage our core as we're working our way up the mountain or through the track that we're on and admiring all of the gorgeous views. So we're gonna hit a high plank walkout, feeling that core engage before we walk those hands back and stand up. Once we get to the top of that stand, we're also gonna raise those arms and we're gonna stretch our lats by sending our hip one direction and our arm over the top the other. So let's go ahead, put those hands down, walk it forward into that high plank and back up. And then go ahead and reach to the side, each direction. Good, and then we'll go ahead and step it back down, walk it out, high plank, walk it back, and 1, 2, 3 more, high plank, and stretching those lats. Just a little bit of upper body mobility as well as we work through this sequence. Good, and then one more. Final time, stretching to the sides. Fantastic job. All right, coming up next, we're gonna hit those quad stretches again because like we know, that hike gonna fire up those quads. There's 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and switch. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This time, we're gonna go back down into that high plank, and we're gonna do some knee drivers with rotation, bringing our knee to the opposite elbow to further light up the core. So again, what that's gonna look like down here in that high plank position, we'll go ahead and drive one knee in and across, bringing that knee towards our opposite elbow. We'll go ahead and do 10 total, 5 on each side, alternating. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then walk those hands back, soft bend in the knees, and stand tall. Fantastic work. All right, this time we're gonna hit a lateral lunge like we did before, stand it back up, but instead of driving that knee, we're gonna go ahead and lift that leg out to the side. What that's gonna do is light up our hip abductors, the outside of our hip. Now, those are very important stabilizing muscles that help keep our pelvis level. So while we're hiking, we definitely need those stabilizers to be in play because there's a lot of uneven terrain as we work through our hikes, and that's gonna help our bodies have the best chance for success on our hike. So let's go ahead and take it wide into that lateral lunge, back up, and then we'll go ahead and lift out for 5 reps. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll go ahead and hit it again. Lateral lunge, up, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then one more time, out to the side and up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and take it the other direction. Taking it to the side, up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. One more time. Now, what you're probably noticing is you're feeling the burn on both sides because this stance leg is also working hard. And there we go. Okay, last but not least, we're gonna hit some dorsiflexion for our ankle. And what that means is that we're gonna kick that foot out and we're going to relax our foot so it rests against the floor. Then we're going to hinge at our hips. And from here, we're going to flex our foot and then relax it back down. What we're targeting here is we're targeting our anterior tibialis muscle right in the front. Why are we warming this up? The reason is because as we hike, especially as we're moving down a hill, this anterior tib muscle is helping eccentrically control our ankle mobility. So as we step and then our foot goes down, we're engaging this anterior tib to help slow our step so that we're not just slapping our foot. But what it means is that the whole downhill section of your hike is gonna light that up. So we wanna get it warmed up and prepared so that it's ready to go. So again, we're gonna hinge at the hip and then we're gonna lift those toes back towards our shin and then relax them. And we're gonna do that 10 times. So there's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then go ahead and switch sides. Kick that foot out, hinge at the hips, relax the foot, and then drive those toes back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, 1. All right, team, now that our bodies are warmed up, joints are ready, muscles are more limber, we're just gonna finish off with a little bit of dynamic skipping to help bring the heart rate up, get the blood flowing one last time before we send ourselves off to the outdoors. So for that dynamic skip, you're just gonna pop it up, alternating sides, pressing through that toe as you drive that knee. We'll go ahead and do it for 10 seconds. Here we go. Give me 5 more. 3, 2, and 1. So team, I hope you feel ready to go, warmed up, and excited to get outside and get moving on your hike. Hey, have a great day.